Epstein, Trump, Russell Brand. Men too big to fail, brazenly protected.
Let's go, let's party!
And women, complicit or not, crucified publicly. Still, somehow, we treat each case like a one-off. But here is the truth. They are not accidents. They are patterns. The system produces them. That's why I want to talk about Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah, I know. Even saying her name makes people flinch, and that's understandable. She's a convicted criminal. She enabled some of the darkest crimes imaginable. So I'm not here to rescue her. But I am here to say this. The way her story unfolded and the way she became the only one punished to date tells us something bigger than any tabloid ever will. Something about power, about patriarchy, about what happens to women who believe proximity makes them immune. I'm talking about many of us trained to think that surrendering choice for influence is safety. Not children, not coerced victims. I'm talking about grown folks navigating a system that rewards compliance and punishes independence. And if that feels uncomfortable, good, it should. Lean in. This isn't just a story about Ghislaine. It's a mirror for anyone who's ever been fooled into chasing safety or belonging through someone else's power. Here's the kicker. The system doesn't care about you. Safety is knowing the rules, moving strategically and refusing the illusion that anyone or anything can make you untouchable. You think privilege buys safety? Well, Ghislaine Maxwell thought that too. Newsflash, it doesn't. You think wealth protects you, access shields you, sitting close to power keeps you safe? Spoiler, it doesn't. And I get it. We all want safety, ease, a soft life. Love even, especially black women, women of colour, women like us who have carried centuries on our backs. It's tempting to think that the right partner, the right job, the right connections, even the right class might buy security. So let's see how this plays out in real life, at the very top of the hierarchy. Maxwell was born into wealth most of us can't even picture. A father who owned newspapers, yachts, power, and her. Because let's be real, she had billionaire friends on speed dial. She had access most of us will never glimpse. And still, she was always the girl at the bottom of the top of the hierarchy. A woman in a world where the rules we live by were written by the men who ruled her world. Conditioned from birth to believe her safety came from serving their wants. Sound familiar? She could have been anything. Damn, she should have been more. Instead, she became an instrument, a feeder to her lover's lust. His wish, his mission. Wealth, pedigree, Oxford billionaire friends. But here's the thing, she was never running the show. She was useful, influential, visible and disposable the moment she stopped serving the men above her. I don't think for 1 minute this is just high society drama, because every woman I know has lived this. Yes, you. Just at a different scale. CEO or barista, corporate ladder or gig economy, even in our homes, the rules are the same. Your freedom, your voice, your safety, they're all determined by where the patriarchy decides you belong. Step out of line, stop being convenient, the system doesn't negotiate, it dumps you. And that's why I created the Authenticity Academy, the membership for women done performing approval and ready to build an identity that holds more money, visibility and power without spiralling, shrinking or selling out. Authenticity Academy is open. This is where you stop managing your image and start building an identity that holds more power, money and presence. Not by hustling harder, by upgrading your internal architecture. If you've outgrown the version of you that kept you safe but your nervous system hasn't caught up, this is the shift. Clean, regulated, magnetic. Because you're not here to cope, you're here to win. Let's build the identity your future is already asking for. Links in the description. So if you've outgrown the version of you that kept you safe, but your nervous system hasn't caught up, this is your recalibration, because it's not just about getting what you want. It's about unlocking the frequency that lets you hold all of it. And it's not enough to play the old game smarter. You have to rewrite the game completely. That means building social intelligence so you see the traps before you step into them. Storytelling that rewires your internal narrative so you stop performing for approval. Wealth, identity and nervous system calibration so you can hold more power, money, wealth, visibility without self-sabotage or collapse. That's not privilege, that is power. Pre-launch pricing ends in days, so click the link below to be part of this game-changing community. I don't know when pre-launch pricing will end. So what really protects you? Let's test the myths. Glow, prestige, connections, whiteness, youth, beauty. Spoiler alert, none of it. That's the illusion. People think privilege alone is armor, but unless you're at the very top, unless you're the man writing the rules, privilege is just a longer leash. It lets you sit closer to the fire, but you still get burned. Because patriarchy isn't as simple as women versus men. It's the 1% feeding on everyone else. And here's the kicker. Even rich women, white women, women with clout and connections, they are not immune. They're useful until they're not. And when the game breaks, guess who pays? Not the billionaires, not the princes, not the men who flew private to the island. No, the woman who enforced the rules on their behalf. And a soft life doesn't save you. Ease, comfort, glow, access, they're tempting, seductive, especially if the world has demanded you carry too much for too long. But relying on someone else for your security, dangerous, because when beauty fades, usefulness declines, or you stop being convenient, the system doesn't negotiate, it discards. And that's what happened to Ghislaine Maxwell. Here's where people squirm. Some think of her as a monster. Others perceive her as a victim. She was neither, and she was both. She made horrific choices. She enabled crimes that destroyed young girls' lives into womanhood. She wasn't coerced. She wasn't desperate, at least not for money. She chose, but let's not pretend she invented this script. She was trained into it, trained by her father, trained by the elite circles, trained by a system that rewards women for being handmaidens to male power. And here's the uncomfortable truth for you. It's not just her, it's systemic. It's in boardrooms, casting rooms, parliaments, even families. Different scale, same logic. Women rewarded for compliance, punished for resistance, discarded when they are no longer useful. So what's the takeaway? It's this. No prestige, no connections, no elite pedigree, not beauty, not whiteness, not wealth, not sitting closer to power. None of it will shield you. The only security is seeing the system for what it is, naming it, refusing to outsource your security to someone else's game, because even a woman like Ghislaine Maxwell, a woman with money, access and status, could be consumed and discarded. So the rest of us cannot afford to immerse ourselves in illusions. The truth is, patriarchy eats its daughters, some brutally, some in public, some silently. So this story isn't about Ghislaine's fame, her fall or her punishment. It's about the system that shaped her, that used her and that left her to carry the blame alone. And if that unsettles you, well, good, because the real scandal isn't just what she did. It's the hierarchy that makes women disposable, convinces us we're safer the closer we sit to power. And spoiler alert, we are not.